Philippines here. Now, this one I'm doing because I've had a bit of interest and comments on my site and on the YouTube channel and PMs and stuff like that, you know, from women who are confused about some of the behaviours that their husbands are showing. And, you know, to start with, before we go any further, the fact is that trans as a concept has become much less taboo over the last decade than it used to be, and in many ways that's a very good thing. But that has stopped men who would previously have been extremely secretive from being so secretive. So what's happening is their wives are finding out about some of their kinky behaviour, and I've been asked, how do we identify what's going on? Well, I've done enough videos about autogynephilia so that you should be able to know what it is. If you're the wife, now this video is really directed at women who have partners whom they think are showing behaviours that might indicate some sort of problem, that they might be autogynephilic. So, the first one I would be aware of, if you're a woman, is controlling of the way that you look and present in society, and also in the bedroom, right? If the man has got, I think it's quite normal for men to like their partners to look good, and maybe to buy clothes for them that they think make them look good. But when that becomes too controlling, I think that's an issue. Remember that autogynephilia, all autogynephiles are massive narcissists. There is an argument that we could look at autogynephilia as one of a small number of ways in which narcissism is actually sexually expressed. Another one being hypermasculine male homosexuality, and both involve an ETLE, by the way. If your husband really fusses about your appearance all the time, and doesn't like you wearing certain things, but likes you wearing other things, I would be a little concerned about that. Especially if you don't really like what he's suggesting. I mean, fair enough if he brings you a dress and you go, oh wow, that's amazing. Yeah, by all means. But suppose you're the kind of girl who doesn't like to show too much leg, and he's constantly buying you stuff that's, basically 2 inches short of your panties. Question. How could it actually be the other way around? He might be trying to dress you in a very, very conservative, not showing any provocative flesh type of way. And if you're a girl who likes to wear a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, you might find this is, and he's always saying, no, you should wear jeans. It's not right you're showing all that leg. That's an issue. It's your legs, not his. You get to decide how you look. He doesn't. I mean, he may well compliment you when you look good, and that's fine. He may say, oh, I really like that outfit, but for him to start pushing you in certain directions in terms of appearance and behaviour, nah, I don't think that's something you should really just let lie. I would consider that to be a little bit of an alarm bell. Now, the next one that we want to look at here in terms of strange behaviours is, do you ever find that your clothes go missing? Or you find that clothes that were clean and tidily put away in your drawer are kind of mussed up, as if somebody's been through them, or somebody's even worn them. That's definitely not something you want to find. In terms of what happens in bed, there's a form of autogynephilia called interpersonal, and in this the man wants to feel that he's having sex as a woman. Okay, this is one way that it can express itself. There's a load, but this is one. And frequently these men will seek out trans prostitutes to penetrate them and pay them to be penetrated, or they'll ask their wives to do it with a dildo or a strap-on, and they call this pegging. Now, they'll make all sorts of great excuses about how wonderful it feels and all the rest of it. It's not normal behaviour for a straight man. It just isn't. And it's unlikely that he's actually homosexual in the sense of being, a sexual invert, but he might well be autogynephilic. If he's asking you to do this, and he keeps coming back saying, let's do it more. Now, some trans prostitutes, for example, provide dressing services where they will dress the men and then penetrate them. Dress the men in women's clothing, that is. If that happens, you've got a big problem on your hands. This is a person who's coming close to the point at which there's really, it's a mania. Autogynephilia is a mania. It shows distinct similarities with other addictive behaviours. And if it gets out of control, it's life-destroying. It will destroy home, family, finance, you name it. It will destroy everything. And you have to remember that an autogynephile, again, I'll say it again, is a narcissist. Narcissists don't care about other people. And you'll find that some autogynephiles are not just narcissistic, but they show clear signs of something a little bit like psychopathy, in that they really find it difficult to empathize with other people. You know, when they empathize with the woman, it's almost like they're not empathizing with you at all. They're empathizing with a model of you. And to understand that, you need to understand that one of the things that autogynephilic males who, non-trans, they're not transition, but they are involved with women, they're married or they've got long-term relationships. One of the main things they're doing, and this is why they're so concerned about what you wear, is they live their lives by proxy. They live their lives through the woman that they're controlling. Right? Now, people sometimes think I'm a misogynist. I'm not. I've always really liked women, but I hate feminists. I think they're despicable. No woman should be allowing herself to be manipulated in this way. It's too much, you know. And for a man to be living his life through her and controlling her like a puppet like that, this is just wrong, you know, and you shouldn't be allowing it to happen. I don't care how much you love him. You know, you need to see a professional at this stage. So you've got all these things happening. He's living his life through you. He's modifying the way that you behave and appear in public. He's asking for bedroom practices that certainly are unorthodox. You know, I'm sorry, but straight men don't take dildos up their bottoms. They just don't. He may well be using your personal clothing, underwear and things like that, to masturbate with. Another one would be if you use panty liners, count them. Make sure you always know how many you've got. And the same would apply for tampons, because autogynephiles will use them. Right? They'll slit them into, so if they're panty liners, they will slit them into their own panties, and off they'll toddle to work. Or they'll insert tampons inside themselves, inside their anuses. Again, same thing. Now I'm a woman. Finally, of course, the real big moment of truth, the one that you really don't want to hear, is when he comes home and says, I'm a woman. I've been to see a specialist. The specialist says he agrees, or she agrees. I'm on hormones, I'm starting hormones, and my surgery is scheduled for 6 months, 5th of March, or whenever, you know. If that happens, just pack and leave right away. Don't even think about staying. Your life is about to be ripped apart. What's happened is that the man who you loved, the man you married, has been destroyed by an autogynephilic artifact that he himself created, right? He created a kind of succubus that lived inside him until it became so strong. Or perhaps we could argue that the man became so weak, which I think is also a plausible argument, that the succubus was actually able to take over, and it will destroy the man. I know I've said, and I will continue to say, that the two elements live inside the same body and they continue to exist. Understand, this is not multiple personality disorder. Somebody suggested in a response to my YouTubes that I was making this claim. I'm not. There's only one personality. What's happened is that it's been kind of broken up, and that out of the male personality, an artifact has been created which represents the feminine object of desire of the host, right? There is only one person, but he's appearing in two different ways. An autogynephile is never a woman. It's only ever a man playing the role of a woman. Okay? So this is very much akin to a man in theatre playing the role of a woman. He's not really a woman. If you think of the great drag actors, Alistair Sim, Les Dawson, many, many others, I mean, I'm sure there's Dustin Hoffman. I mean, they do it really, really well. But it's not a real woman. You know, it's not got the depth. It's not a real person. It's a role that they're acting out. Okay? So it's not really multiple personality disorder. But it's as if the person gets trapped in the role. They can't get out of it. They just can't get out. And at that point, basically all your bets are off. Your husband, whom you loved, that you married, maybe had kids with, has allowed this mania to completely take over. He has no way of controlling it now. His only way, and unfortunately in the current climate, he will be told that the best thing he possibly could do is to transition. Now that is absolutely the worst thing that he could do. It's not the best thing, it's the worst thing he could do. Because that's just affirming his monomania. That's all it's doing. It's making him worse. And he will continue to get worse. He will be worse. There are additional problems in the West because of the political nature of transgender, as it's called in the West. But we'll go into that in another time. This we're talking about the interpersonal between you and between the wife and the husband. What's going on between them. And the fact is that if he comes back and says, I've done this, I've gone to the clinic, and they say, because particularly in the United States now, they'll just say, yeah, transition. You know? I mean, it's boneheadedness to the point of the ridiculous. It should be obvious to anyone who understands autogynephily. Listen, just listen a minute. How could anyone who is a non-homosexual man desire to be a woman? Unless there was a screw loose. How is it possible? The answer is it's not possible. And I know they'll come up with all this absolute BS about the woman inside and the feminine essence and all the rest of it. It's complete nonsense. These people have a mania, a monomania, it's an obsession, it's a paraphilia, it's the creation of a second pseudo-personality that will take over. And at that point, it's all lost. So if you're a woman in that position, I think that your only choice is to leave. I mean, I want people to be, I'm a nice guy, I like people to be happy, you know. And if I really genuinely thought that a woman could actually live a happy life with a man who has transitioned into a woman, then I would say, fine, try it. But the fact is, every woman who I've spoken to, or whose narrative I've read, or whose interviews I've seen and read, every single one of them is a nervous wreck. They have been totally destroyed. They've got that glazed look, you know, which you will see in like Vietnam and World War II pictures, you know, of soldiers who are shell-shocked. And that's what they are. Autogynephiles, to make all of this worse, will gaslight to the point of no return. And so I'm going to stop with this one. I'm going to do another video specifically about gaslighting in autogynephiles, because it's extremely dangerous. Okay, so that's for women. If you see these signs, pack your bags, clean out the account, go to your mother or some other place, you know, where you're safe, because you're not safe with an autogynephilic man in the house. You're not, and I'll explain why. He might not physically attack you, but he's going to completely gut you mentally.